Welcome everybody, and we are looking at the Nasdaq. So busy week. It's Fed, Bank of England. We've got UK inflation and UK retail sales, US retail sales. So it's a very busy week. So this is pivotal to the coming period into the autumn and potentially right into the back end of the year. So whatever happens in the Nasdaq, the rest of the market tends to follow. So this is the Nasdaq on a daily chart, and right now we are making a series of lower highs, and we've just made a higher low in this recent move here. So we are right in sitting on the top of this area here. So if we hold this 19,400, then I think we can push higher and potentially push back up to 21,700 if we can hold up here. Decent volume on this push up. So a big push on Wednesday 11th, consolidated, sitting back in this area here and waiting to see if we can hold here and push higher. If we close under 19,000 here at any part of this week, then hold on to your hats, because that is going to fall back. So we need to close above 19,400 to continue. If at any stage we break that low of 280 and close underneath the 19,000, that is going to fall out of that. If I pull back, you can see just how important that is. It's potentially a huge bull flag. So we had a very sweet move up there into the summer. Pulled back. That drop into 5th of August got bought. And now we're sitting right at this pivotal area. Look at the FTSE. Thought I had that is on my list, but not this particular one. So FTSE is very, very similar. So we knocked into, sorry about that, knocked into 83.10 today on volume. So again, if the FTSE can break that even tomorrow, we could push back to 8,500 and potentially end up the year end 86, 82. If we fall underneath that, then we are potentially going to roll right the way back and peel all the way back to 77.50 and potentially lower. But at the moment we are, if I put the 50-day average there, we are sitting on, we've touched the 50-day average today, held, closed higher, so at the moment that bodes well. Let's look at, I'll show you this currency. Right, this is the pound versus the yen. Bank of Japan and the Bank of England are both meeting this week. So, we had this sweet move up, all pullbacks were buyable until we got this big engulfing bar on the 11th of July, and we subsequently just kept falling out until we had this big sweep down here on the 5th of August, and now we're sitting on this area here. So if we hold this and 440, 450 gets bought tomorrow, anytime we close above 193, then I think that could potentially go back to the highs. It's under the 50-day average, so any move, any push back into that 190 could see that drop through. In the meantime, I think this is potentially wave 1. If we sit here and wave 2 holds, then wave 3 could take us right into that 197 and more. Let me shut this up, sorry. Right, apologies for that. and then ultimately we need to see if we can get through 197 and so on, if that's going to go higher. So it was a big grinding move right in the first half of this year, followed by quite a rapid collapse. But you can see we collapsed right into the late December 23 support that we broke out from. So if this is a big boomerang, and this is like I said, potential wave 3, then we could be in business. Break that low 183. And we're going to come and find that December support and potentially lower. Right, so if these markets are sitting up, let's go through. Let's finish with commodities. Quick look at commodities. Gold sitting up. It's very, very high. With all the noise going on, if we see 25.40 or lower, in other words, falling back into this breakout area, then I think we can go to 26.10 plus. And let's look at. Let's start looking through these stocks. Let's look at the telecom sector. Vodafone, higher. Very sweet move off here. Broke up. Pull back. So any move back to 75. Next stop is 82. If we break 88 anytime this year, then we're going to go to 106. The merger decision is imminent. I've forgotten the date. They're trying to merge with 3. But the competition authorities are looking into that. Right, BT, sorry. All porks are getting bought. Any push back into 140 is now viable to see if they can break 150 and go back to these highs and beyond. If this really gets to run, so I talked about it and was buying into this pound down here. So if we really get to run, we could go all the way to £2. That's the potential. 150 is going to be a tough spot, but any pullback to 130, 140 is viable. I should have left the phone out, shouldn't I? So that's BT and Vodafone. Let's look at oil stocks. Tullow. Now I like Tullow because this volume is increasing here. This is a very, very important spot from May 17 last year. From that move in May last year, we hit just under 40 in September, pulled right the way back here in March this year and went on another run to 40. Now we've got this deep pullback, so if we hold here and break above 27, I can see that getting back to the highs. Shell, excuse me, this is potentially a good pullback area. I obviously haven't looked at Shell for a while because my chart is untidy, so let's just readdress that. So if I go to this most recent high and pull back the ratios to this January low, right, we've got to close. I think it's worth waiting here. If we close above this 25.60, I think we can recover. But I will be patient. The volume is increasing here. We didn't see an engulfing bar here. When we dropped on the 10th of September, we did not close above that 26th end. So this could easily come back to 24.60, which is why I think you need to be patient. At this stage, I think you're likely to see 24.50, 60, 2450 is 60 area. In Shell BP. Now this has got a lot of volume down at these lows as well. Just not been trading these big oil stocks, not even looking at them recently, so I will do so now you have asked about them. Right, let's go to that 535 high, this January 22 low. So this, again, crucial area, very, very crucial area. We held here in October 22. So if we can get above 410, I think we can start to move back up to these highs. But we've got a series of, so we really struggled up here at 535, then we had a lower high, broke down, subsequent highs sold, all these subsequent highs are sold, so you do need to be very careful with this one. And reversals are very financially rewarding, but they're lower probability. But equally, they can be lower risk. Because if you take a low number here and get your stop underneath these support, you can get out pretty quick. So they are well worth watching. I just think they need a little bit more patience. Bear in mind what I said about this week. Right, let's look at, let's cross over to mainstream energy with Drax and National Grid. This is I hesitated down here this year, and this has just flown. So we look at the volume increasing just before we so we saw a nice volume spike on the 25th of July, then we just pushed higher. This is a bullish consolidation, and a bullish consolidation is normally over when you dip. So I still think there's time on this. It is possible you could even get back to 590 or 570. I hate buying high, so I am going to try and I'm going to see if I can be really patient here and wait for the move down to 570. It's not that far away. We're only 650 now, so any retracement into that area would really get me interested. In the meantime, that may not do it. It's very strong, sitting up. This most recent low here at 628 could be it. And National Grid, these two in particular have been quite tough. So I think it was a rights issue, wasn't it? Dropped it right into this October 22 support, and we are still easing higher as we speak. You can see all that resistance at 1081. Any push back to 940 is viable. Even 1025 could be viable at this stage, but you're buying very high. But sometimes you need to buy high. I mean, if we hold into that support, that could be it before we go and visit this high again. Long term, that looks like 1180, 1285 is doable if that can break this high. And tech stock, we talked about, IQE is very interesting. Thanks for flagging this up. So we've gone all the way to 3670. And we're dropping back. This is a crucial area, really crucial area. We're sitting on April 5th lows, but the volumes are still bearish. So IQE needs to go really top of my list, because if that can hold, So what I would look for is a move above, an open and a close above this 18.5, positive volume, and then I'd look to see if we can get back, ultimately break that high and go to 45.50. So we've basically boomeranged all the way back to the April breakout area. Close underneath here and we're going to potentially see 12. I'd be very surprised if we go back to 12, but there's no evidence that can hold at the moment. So IQE is very top of my list. Staying with techs, this is Byte, B-Y-I-T. This has got a price earnings ratio of 22, so a little bit on the expensive side. A series of lower highs, lower lows, but this is again right back into this October 23 support, and the volume is already picking up here. So I think this is even buyable now at 450 with a stop underneath 430. Right, I can't remember what this one is. This is, I'm assuming this is the one what you were watching. Morningstar ETF. Looking at it, I'm not sure what this is. Looks like it needs a push back to 882, but if we close above 985, that's going. Let me know if that MSTR is the wrong one. Right, what have we got? Prudential, so financial services. This is definitely trying. I'm actually in this now. So I suggested 610. We closed today at 613. Volumes were very good last week, mid to late last week. So if we're able to close above this area here, and as long as we don't close underneath that support, oops, I think Prudential could do very well. Quite a low price earnings ratio, so it's potentially showing good value. Right, this is one I've watched off and on for ages and ages. These guys, do you know that the sandwich market in, well, the food hall market in airports is billions, absolutely billions, and these guys have got a significant share of it. So, not so long ago, this stock was 283, we're here 170. If we hold this and close above 170, I think this could start to climb back. Airport footfall has had a very, very good year, and all we've done is we pinged up from here on the 10th of July, and we've just boomeranged back to the breakup area, and we're holding on volume. So I think that's a buy at 160 with a stop under 150. Target £2. If we close above 197, £2, that then could go all the way back to £283. Long term, I think it will get there. But yeah, one step at a time. I've forgotten what this one is. What is this? Unity Software. Unity Software. This is already, look at the volumes down here, absolutely fantastic. So any pullback to 1820, it's a US stock, any pullback to 1825 I think is buyable, because if we subsequently break above 22, I think we could clamber all the way back to 40 plus. So again, be patient, try and wait for 1825. You may not get it, because that is huge volume, not seen for quite a while. not seen since November 23. That's Unity Software. TPI cap. Bullish consolidation. I'd like to see that go down to 225 at least before I got into that. If you're in it, just stay put. Leave it alone. Let's see if it can wiggle around. Paycom. This appears to be building. Had this huge move down from 37. But if this area holds, I think that can close that gap. So there's a gap fill at 23.70. I think we could come and close that gap. So there's the gap. We have not got past a, looks like a 50% gap fill. So they sold into that 50% gap fill. Now they're attempting to build here on Paycom Software. So watch out for 16.25, 16. So if it comes back into that area there and holds, I think that's viable. HMSO. Wow, that's had a pretty good stop, pretty good run from all this support down here. October 23. Personally, I would have been out on this move up here. I would have been out on that move on the 22nd. But at the moment the volumes are still holding up. If we can hold that, then we can go back to 32. Otherwise, if you're in it, just manage your risk. But if you're not in it, I would steer. It's not. I don't like it because of the sector, property sector. That's it. All right. Thanks for listening. I hope that helps, and see you again next week. In the meantime, if you want to join my Telegram room, which is very active every day, then let me know. All right. Thanks very much. Bye.